It's been a while, but today we're touching on an update for XDefiant, a game that sure may have lost some steam by indefinitely delaying a few months back, but not only do I think that it was the right choice at the time, but I mean, I'm also still interested in getting my hands on it when the time comes. So today we're taking a look at an update provided by executive producer Mark Rubin and what implications this has for the coming release, among other things for the games. As we go along, drop your thoughts down below. If you enjoy the video, you find it at all insightful, do me a favor and drop a like on it, and consider subscribing to stay up to date with all things XDefiant, along with other FPS related content. If you're part of that 60% of viewers that are not subscribed and would like to stay on top of all this kind of stuff, I'd love to have you in the community. Finally, make sure to check out my friends over at Gamer Advantage for 35% off your entire order with code ESPRESSO for the best blue light glasses on the market, but more on that a little later. For now, let's take a look at what's up with XDefiant. So, as an initial sort of reference point here, here's a little recap of what happened last, because it's already been almost 2 months since our last discussion on the project. Earlier in October, there was this really strange, like, will they, won't they type of feeling to if Ubisoft would drop XDefiant in the weeks leading up to, or perhaps alongside that of the release for Modern Warfare 3. I obviously can't speak for everybody, but the general consensus that I felt, that I saw at least, was a ton of people were hyped for the game, naturally, sure, but in regards to the Call of Duty community, it felt like a lot of people were hyped for XDefiant because it was this combination of a few things that the scene had loved both recently and in a classic form. First, on a sort of classic sense, the game was at its core a fast-paced arcade shooter. It didn't take itself too seriously, it didn't try to slow the pace down to be any sort of milsim in any capacity. It was just a twitch shooter as COD had been in the past, and the, at the time, current COD game of Modern Warfare 2 was trying in a lot of ways to be a game that was made for a slower pace fundamentally. Not going to argue or go deeper into that because it's done and over with, but secondly, the game also had movement, something that the arcade shooter mixed then with movement of recent games like Modern Warfare 2019. It was a combo that players just really enjoyed, and at the time, given how slow-paced everything was, how the initially, when playable, the first playtest happened for XDefiant was that competitor of COD in Modern Warfare 2 was neglecting post-launch content for MP, it was just this natural jump for COD players. So again, that's in my observations. That's why it was an instant hit among the COD scene. But in October, when the game was still not launched, Modern Warfare 3 reverted a ton of changes that Modern Warfare 2 made, and it was a matter of, oh, well, the things that we were all about to jump ship over are now no longer an issue after the beta here of Modern Warfare 3. So it made this potential launch for XDefiant just before or alongside Modern Warfare 3 a point of, well, yeah, maybe that's not the greatest decision. Now, whether or not that was the determining factor, the game was indefinitely delayed, with Ubisoft and the official XDefiant accounts mentioning, "Thank you to everyone who participated in our recent public test session and continues to stand alongside us as we build XDefiant. The PTS once again showed us your appreciation for our fast-paced gunplay, uniquely crafted maps, objective-driven modes, and iconic faction rosters. But it also surfaced some inconsistencies in the game experience that we need to address prior to launching our preseason. So we've made the hard decision to delay the preseason of XDefiant." And that was it. That was the last bit of communication from the game or studio until a little bit ago when Mark Rubin, executive producer at Ubisoft, provided a bit of an update on the game's status, which isn't much, but it was an update no less. He stated, "Hello all, I just wanted to share another update on the progress we've been making with XDefiant to get the game ready to go live. I know people were excited to play after the last test, and so I know it's tough having to wait. But we thank you all for hanging in there with us. We are just as eager to get the game in the hands of the players as you are. We truly can't wait to get the game live so we can shift focus to all the really cool content we have coming in our upcoming seasons. The quick update, we are progressing really well on the changes we've outlined in previous posts. We will be spending the rest of the year finishing up our work here on the new party system, the new netcode changes, and switching all of our servers over to Linux. When we are back from the holidays, we'll be testing for submission, fixing any last minute bugs, and then getting everything ready to go live. So far, everything is going smoothly, and we don't anticipate any issues. If you'd like to get more in the weeds of what we're working on, continue to read below. The rest of that ends up detailing a bit of the netcode, Linux server switch, and the party system. 2 of those 3 things were detailed as really good progress. The netcode and the servers, those are mentioned that they squashed some bugs here with that. They're just about done with everything with the Linux server switch over so that it's better stability and all. And the party system was the only thing that they mentioned was the sort of hurdle still to get over, where that was the main reason for the delay that they're still having, where the party system they had worked fine throughout development and all testing, but when they tested it in live, the crossplay aspect wouldn't hold up to where their standard was. So they of course had to be working on that, and they're implementing a new system in which other Ubisoft games that function properly are using to make this something that is just flawless across the board for the game. So that's the really only sort of hold up that they have at the moment, but they did state that they're going to be fixing all this stuff here for the remainder of the year, and then when they get back from holiday break, usually in terms of the development development side of things, that's around like the middle of the first week here. New Year's falls on a Monday, so wouldn't be surprised if we end up seeing people start back the week after on the 8th. Maybe they get into office on like the 3rd, 4th, or 5th, but I personally don't know how Ubisoft grants holiday time to their employees, so I can't comment on that with any sort of official understanding. But based off this, it seems, of course, like we're going to see some overhauls of some new systems, but more importantly, 2024 seems to be that targeted release, and early 2024, which is definitely nice. Of course, this has been a year in the making since our first like public play sessions of the game, even longer if you end up following any of the development from the very beginning, or we're maybe even in on some of the consulting play sessions and closed beta sessions. So early 2024, if they're going to be jumping in and submitting immediately as detailed by Mark in previous posts, the submission process may only take a couple of weeks here at this point once they're back, if they start immediately when they get back in office. And as he's detailed in other posts with people, they've already passed main submission, so going back at it for another round takes even less time than the initial submissions they had to do. So we very well could be seeing this happen at the end of January, early February perhaps, where we see a launch, but honestly, Q1 or Q2 looks to be all but inevitable at this point, which I think is the perfect target. Late winter, early spring here, that's when things in the competition side of things for FPS games really start to die down. The only thing that I think has been announced is like Battlefield 2042 as Season 7 coming in March. We'll have Season 2 for Modern Warfare 3 kicking off in February. So like, there's not a whole ton in terms of launches that you have to be conscious of. So that'll bode very well for the game, I think. And on top of that, we might see another playtest here that's available before the launch of the game as well, to test some of these changes that have been made since the last playtest, since the last update, and all these changes that they've made to the game. And that kind of makes sense. I mean, because you make some fundamental changes to servers, netcode, party system, obviously key integral parts with playing the game fundamentally. You probably don't want to launch a game after making such drastic changes without seeing how it performs out in the wild. Yes, you can, but it is something that, having seen how they've had so many playtests to test different adjustments to the game already, wouldn't be surprised if they end up doing that again. And Mark said that that is a possibility that they are considering. So that said, we might be getting our hands on XDefiant, not only just in a regular playtest session earlier in the year, next year in 2024, but also in a launched capacity here, maybe end of January, sometime in February. That's some assumption based off of timetables that we've had laid out for us in the past and how the submission process works. But I mean, XDefiant might actually finally be coming here with that, and I'm incredibly excited about that. So that said, that is where we're gonna wrap it up. Just wanted to fill you guys in here on a little bit of an update in regards to XDefiant if you wanted to hear at all about it. So that said, let me know your thoughts down below. Are you guys still looking forward to XDefiant? Are you guys gonna jump in whenever it may end up launching? Whatever the case, feel free to let me know. But before we wrap everything up entirely as well, make sure to check out my friends over at Gamer Advantage for the best blue light glasses on the market. Code Espresso right now can get you 35% off your entire order. So if you guys want to get something here for a last second gift, now's a great time to do so. With an increased boost to the discount code here, the Code Espresso can give you 35% off. If you guys want to at least check out what they have on offer, check the link in the description below. You can learn more about the science, the clinical studies, all that kind of stuff they can break down way better than I ever can. But from my own personal opinion, I've worked with these guys for about 3 years now at this point. I've loved every second of wearing my pair, and I truly think they've helped my daily productivity. But that said, check it out. Link in the description below. Code Espresso, 35% off. But that said, that's where we're going to wrap it up. Again, drop your thoughts down below. If you enjoyed the video, you found it at all insightful, do me a favor and drop a like on it. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things XDefiant, Modern Warfare 3, other FPS content, all that good stuff. I'd love to have in the community. But for now, thanks so much for watching. My name is Espresso. I'll see you later. Take care and peace.